Welcome to this Legal Health Glow Up webinar to protect and scale your online business in 2025. I have already started the recording. Feel free to put any questions in the chat for the Q&A later. But my beautiful business colleague who's joining, Valerie, who's building her own online business, has already sent some questions that I will answer at the end. So I will start with a little bit of background about me. I'm a German lawyer living and working in Switzerland, and I gained my experience in the international context of cross-border topics in different law firms as well as legal departments of global corporations. And I started my own business this year to support inspiring startups with practical legal solutions for a fair fixed fee. And I am working with a holistic approach with the mindset of a yoga teacher, because I'm also a certified yoga teacher, and the precision of a lawyer to create a solid but flexible and balanced foundation for startups and online businesses. So let me begin with the reminder that law is all about protection of you as the founder of your business or the director of your business, as well as the protection of your clients and partners. And it's not about being threatened or being afraid of law. And today we will work with the metaphor of legal protection as your business immune system. And my biggest advice is that your best effort is enough. So find practical solutions for your day-to-day activities. And if you document these decisions transparently, you already have made the first step of your legal protection and are probably one step ahead of your competition of let's say 90% of your competition. But still, we will strengthen our business immune system because it's impossible to prevent every disease, but we can minimize risk factors and ensure resilience for your business to thrive even when things are getting a little bit more complicated. So before we dive into the legal essentials, let's take a moment to center ourselves. And if you can, find a comfortable position, maybe in your chair or wherever you are. And if you're safe, close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it and breathe out through your mouth. Maybe roll your shoulders up and back. And with your closed eyes, focus on a point between your eyes and imagine your business as a young seed full of potential. With each breath, visualize the root of the seed growing deeper into rich, solid soil. Now imagine how slowly a tender little plant grows from the seed. With each inhalation, it stretches further upwards, slowly growing into a tree. With each exhalation, you let go of fears and anxieties. Take a moment to set an intention for this session. Perhaps it's clarity or empowerment to make healthy legal decisions for your business. Now slowly bring your awareness back to your body, sitting on your chair, back to the space, and slowly start to move, maybe stretch your body a little bit. And whenever you're ready, slowly open your eyes. And I hope you could visualize the secure growth of your business rooted in a healthy and strong foundation. And remember this feeling of protection and growth as we move forward to discuss a bit more practical steps for your business legal health. So let's dive deeper into the business immune system and start with the first line of defense, which is your legal form, which is kind of the business frame or your skin in the immune system to shield your personal assets from your business risks. With a good legal form, you can separate personal finance from your business liability. And the most common form for this is the limited liability company. You can also gain credibility through formal structure and an official registration in the commercial register, which gives you, but also your partners or clients, the transparency to have a look into the commercial register and see who's the owner, who's the director of the company. Another benefit is the lower corporate tax versus the higher income tax if you are only a sole proprietorship. And there are also other advantages, but that's very much depending on your revenue. And you should definitely not underestimate the costs and administration efforts for corporations such as the limited liability company, because that can easily be thousands of euros or Swiss francs per year, depending very much on the country. So you should definitely ask yourself, does it make sense at an early stage to already have a company, or can I just start as a solo business? So your main takeaway here should be that the perfect structure for your individual case depends on your goals, on your revenue, and on the local regulations of your country. And most important, stay flexible and adapt your structure to your business growth. The next line of protection is contracts. Contracts, this is your individual legal relationship between your company and your partners. And that's your opportunity to set and specify each other's rights as well as obligations. And most importantly, the deliverables of the service and the payment terms to set clear expectations for long-lasting and trustful partnerships. So really take this opportunity to define the rules of this relationship instead of accepting the contract template from the counterparty. For example, if you work with a partner, then maybe they already have a contract and say, hey, can we send you our contract? You say, nope, we can only work on my own rules. And definitely add enough protection terms, such as for your intellectual property, your copyrights, confidentiality, and the term of this contract, as well as a possibility to end the contract if that's necessary. Complementing individual contracts are terms and conditions as the kind of universal house rules of your business to govern the use of your service or of your product. And usually they are published on your website or they are provided in the purchase process, but it's important that there is a direct link to your terms and conditions if it's only provided in the purchase process. And this little box where you can accept the terms and conditions as the client. So the client has to make sure that yes, I've read and accepted the terms and conditions. And terms and conditions are very useful for standardizing general terms for a large customer base and ensure compliance with legal requirements. Next step of the business immune system is your compliance, which includes all the external and internal rules for your business to keep it clean. So that's why I would call it the digital hygiene for your business. And most important here, especially in Europe, is a transparent privacy policy to let your customers know how you use their data. And you should also make sure to protect the personal data of your customer as safe as possible. So in practice, that could mean that you have a password generator, so you don't use maybe the first name of your boyfriend or husband, but you use really a generated password. You have a two-factor authenticator for login, or just use other safety measures to ensure that you are able to protect the data and that you're also able to prove your efforts for privacy protection. And even if your business is not in Europe, if you have European customers, you have to comply with GDPR requirements, which are quite high, or which are the highest in all the world when it comes to data privacy. Next part of a clean compliance process is to be informed about industry-specific regulations, especially in very regulated areas, such as life science, or in your case, Valerie, that's the therapeutic or more medical health area. Or another very regulated area is, for example, finance, where you always have the authority having an eye on what you do. And another important aspect is to try stay up to date with those regulations, but also local rules. I personally do that, for example, through a newsletter by the Swiss state that is exactly for my company size. So maybe you have something, or you can find something like that, like a newsletter from your state that so you can stay up to date about regulations and any updates. And most importantly, I repeat myself, maintain clean records of your business activities. So have a clear folder structure for your legal documents and write a protocol, especially after important business calls, and maybe send that via email to the partner that you were talking to in the call, and archive your business emails. Next part of the business immune system is the IP protection. That's really the core of your business. That's the asset of your company, which is why I would call it the DNA of the company. And the first step of your legal relationship with partners or clients or investors should be to have a non-disclosure or confidentiality agreement in place, especially if you don't have an already existing contract. And if you have an existing contract, you should make sure that there is a safe confidentiality term in the contract to protect you. If not, add these to your contracts and add these to your terms and conditions to make sure that your IP is protected. Another part of IP protection next to the confidentiality is the registration of trademarks and patents. So if you have a great name for, let's say, your coaching program, or you use a logo, but especially for technical patents, it's very important to register those early enough to really create value that especially investors, if you're searching for funding, want to see and want to hear. Yes, we have these 3 amazing patents already registered. So we have this asset in our company. And my main advice when it comes to IP protection is that you don't overshare with strangers, but that you are very conscious with who you share what and really value your confidential information as your company's biggest asset. And the last, but definitely not least step of the business immune system is one of my favorite topics, which is insurance. And that's kind of the emergency care plan for your business. Because if you have an insurance, you have a safety net for the worst case scenario to be kind of cushioned for it, because it can happen sometimes, and then it's good if you don't have to pay yourself, but you have the insurance company that will pay or will defend you in that case. So I would definitely recommend to have a business liability insurance in place for everyday commercial risks in case of third-party damage. So if you are very small with a super low risk, this insurance will and should be very cheap for you. If it's not, you should search for another insurance or compare different offers that you get to receive the best price and terms for this insurance. The next insurance that I would recommend, but which is only necessary for corporate companies such as the limited liability company, is the so-called directors and officers insurance. So it's for the directors of the board or the officers, such as the chief executive officer. So it's for founders or the management team to protect their personal assets, to protect the family. And the insurance premium in this case will be paid by the company itself and is especially important for the case of bankruptcy because that's the most common case for the D&O insurance. And it covers especially the costs for legal claims against the director or officer. And my special tip, because this topic was my PhD thesis, is that you get a personal D&O insurance because it's possible that your insurance sum can get used entirely for your colleagues. And in that case, when you have a personal directors and officers insurance ready, you have your own sum that covers and protects only you. And as this personal insurance is subsequent to the main corporate insurance, it's also quite cheap. And if you're ready to give your business a legal glow up in this year, in order to feel protected and ready to scale, I have two offers at the moment, so for more information, check out my website or follow me on social media. And let's come to the questions. So first of all, of course, thank you for your attention.